So because I've been making a lot of tutorials about clothing and how to make clothes using these two machines, now I have the Adi as well, which I'm really happy about, okay? I'm going to share with you guys it's going to be a series of tutorials that I'm going to share of how to cast stitches, how to remove stitches, how to work with panels so you don't drop stitches as well, and how to seam panels together, how to seam a panel and make a ribbing and things like that. So that's going to be a series, and so when you look for, all the tutorials are going to be there and easy to follow, and it's just going to be really short, okay? How to increase, decrease, I already posted a few, and these are important things so you guys can make your own clothes. I've been making a lot of patterns. If you want to check my patterns, creativeswimwear.com, and also knittingmachinepatterns.com. That's the website for the patterns for these machines, okay? The first tutorial that I'm gonna share with you is gonna be this one, and on this one we're gonna talk about panels, how to work panels, and mainly with summer yarns, okay? You can be doing the same thing with winter yarns, but because winter yarns are much easier like to work with because they flex more. So like if you're using acrylic for a ply or wool or anything like that, they run much smoother on your, much nicer, like butter, like people say, like they run like butter on your machine. So I'm gonna be explaining on this video exactly how you work on a panel mold and how to get the edges perfect on the panel mold as well, okay? And I'm gonna share a playlist with all this material so you can just play that and, you know, just share with your friends if you know someone that has problems making panels, because I know that a lot of people, I'm in a few Facebook groups, and I know a lot of people have problems working with panels. And like working with panels opens so many more options in clothing than just working with tubes. And so I think it's really important to learn that, okay? So this is the first one, let's get into it. Okay, so to make this panel, I'm going to be using the cotton muffin yarn, okay, which is a good summer yarn as well. As I said, I was gonna use. So the first thing, I'm using the Adi machine, but you can use your Centro machine as well. What I like about the Adi machine is that if you work on the tube mold, but you're making a panel, your machine will count this way and the way back. So you have to always try to use these three first pegs here on the Adi machine, so it counts the rows on the way there and back. So you're gonna count 2 rows when you're making 2 rows. On the Centro machine this doesn't happen because the row counter counts to 1, and when you come back it counts back to 0. So I can do that on the Centro machine, and that's one of the reasons that I like the Adi machine for making clothing and working with panels, okay? So we're gonna start casting on the stitches this way, and we're gonna put behind the next peg. Make sure that first peg grabs the yarn, and in front of the third peg, behind the fourth one, in front, behind, in front, behind, in front, behind, and in front, behind, and in front, okay? So when you want to finish, you make sure this is down underneath the little thing in between both pegs, and then you can make your way back and put inside the yarn guide, okay? Put inside the yarn guide on your Centro machine as well, and then you can start making your way back. Okay, I'm working a little panel here so you guys can see how it works, okay? It's gonna make a little bit of noise on the way back on this row here, and that's just because of the tension and the cotton yarn as well, but that's normal, okay? So working with the tension. If you are using your central machine, don't put inside the yarn guide, just work like I'm working here, okay? Use your fingers for tension. For summer yarns, okay, and if you're working on a panel. And the reason why is I'm gonna explain to you soon. So make sure you grab the first peg grabs the yarn, because sometimes on the Adi machine mainly it misses it. So make sure it's there inside it, and then start making your way back slowly. And just letting that yarn run through your hands like I'm doing here. Don't apply any pressure, otherwise you're gonna have too much tension on your stitches, and that's mainly for cotton as well. If you have too much tension on your stitches, it's gonna go really slow and your pegs are gonna suffer, so you might even break a peg. So don't apply tension. Don't tension the yarn when you're running through your hands, okay? One more thing. So to finish that first row, I went one peg further. So the yarn here is underneath underneath this part here on the first peg. Okay, and then on the way back, it's underneath here, and it's gonna bring straight to the first peg. If you don't do that, the yarn doesn't go underneath here and you're gonna miss the first stitch. Okay, so let's make one more. As you could see, again, bring one more. One is in this exact position. You can start your way back. And as you can see, I'm using cotton and it's running really smooth. So here, as you can see, this loop here is on top of the peg. Make sure that always the yarn while you're making the stitch is down underneath, right on the bottom of the peg. Otherwise, that's another reason why you're gonna drop stitches, because the stitch is not on top of the peg, or not on the bottom, on the base of the peg, okay? So as you can see, all the stitches are perfectly inside the pegs, and now you can make your way back. Again, one more thing on the panel mode. When you reach the edge, what I do on the beginning is that with this finger, and that's the way I grab the yarn on my hand, I apply some pressure right on the beginning of the row. So the first stitch is not too big. There you go. Go one further, and then come back. And apply some pressure here only on the first one, and then just let the yarn run through your hands. And see how I just missed one there? You can just bring that peg up again, put that yarn down under, and then make your stitch. Okay, with the Adi mainly, it's really easy to miss this first stitch, so be careful, be aware of that. With the Centro, it doesn't seem to happen that much, and that's because the pegs have a little bit different design. They are not exactly the same size. So there you go, guys. So as you can see, doing it this way, that's one sample that I made with mandala ombre yarn. And look at the edges. They are perfect. And that's because I only apply a bit of pressure when I'm starting the row, okay? So this is what you're gonna get if you make this way. So thank you for watching, guys, and make sure you go to the next one, which is how to cast off stitches, 3 ways to cast off stitches when you're using the panel mold.